everyone, hope you're doing well. So Real Madrid are closing in on a £100 million signing on Monaco midfielder Aurélien Tchouaméni, and I think this is good news for West Ham United. Obviously Real Madrid were always going to spend big this summer. They've been saving up, they've got a pot of gold sat there ready for Kylian Mbappe, and then they didn't get Kylian Mbappe, but the pot of gold remains, so they were always going to splash the cash. Gareth Bale's wages off the books as well, who I must confess, I can't be the only one, right? There's at least one other person watching this right now that's thinking, I was thinking the same, right? There must be one of you. But Gareth Bale at West Ham United next season, I'm intrigued by it. That's all I'm going to say. There's obviously a concern because he's going to want to stay fit. He's going to want to make sure he's in tip-top condition for Wales at the World Cup. So until November, there's a period of uncertainty. There's no guarantees between the season starting in August and the World Cup starting in November which Gareth Bale turns up, or if he turns up at all, does he turn up at the training ground or does he turn up on the golf course, right? But hypothetically, if you had a guarantee that you were going to get 100% Wales Gareth Bale for the whole season next season, there's something about that tickles my fancy. I am going to confess there is a little bit that intrigues me about that. Obviously there is no guarantees, because Wales is obviously going to be his priority, and his wages, you think immediately, well, his wages aren't going to be cheap, but he's been linked to Getafe and even Cardiff. I appreciate he'd be going back to Cardiff for sentimentality reasons, so his wage demands would be a lot lesser there, and it'd be a case of, I just wish to stay fit for the World Cup. But I don't know, he's still got in his locker, he's still a world-class player. Anyway, so Real Madrid, always going to splash the cash, really good signing, getting Tchouameni in for 100 million, but I think it's good news for West Ham, because what I do think it does, not necessarily for West Ham United fans, because a week ago, Declan was being linked to Madrid again, wasn't he? Now, I don't think necessarily, if that rumour was true, I don't think it means the end of the pursuit of Declan Rice, because they still need to evolve that midfield. They've also got Camavinga there, Tchouameni now is a fantastic addition. It's almost like they need one more person. I'll tell you what, imagine Declan Rice there as well. What a midfield that would be. That's their midfield sorted for at least 10 years. But I think it's good news for West Ham United rather than West Ham United fans. And that is, I think it validates our valuation of Declan Rice. Because 12 months ago when the price tag was 100 million, or rumoured to be 100 million, in fact it was 100 million. Because during the season, David Moyes just basically said it was 100 million because David Moyes has spoken and said that 100 million is gone now. It's gone up. That 100 million was a bargain in the summer. No one took it. The price has gone up now. It basically confirmed the reports that were Declan Rice's asking price was 100 million. Now we know now it's gone up to 150 million. Now before someone says he's not worth that, it doesn't really matter, does it? Doesn't matter. That's how much we want for him. That is our player. We don't wish to sell him, so we put a price tag of 150 million on him. We're not saying he's worth that. We're not saying he's worth that to Man U, Chelsea, Man City, Real Madrid. Doesn't really matter. That is the asking price from West Ham because we don't wish to sell him. Anyway, I wasn't going to rant about that. It's just one of those things that irk me when a club said this player is X million and people say, well, he's not worth that. Well, yeah, we know. Everyone knows that. They're not saying he is. They're saying that's what they will sell him for. Two completely different things. Anyway, so when this 150 million thing goes round, obviously it sparks debate, doesn't it? Whether it's opposition fans, Man United fans, Chelsea fans, or pundits, or ex-professional footballers, or whatever, they then get involved and discuss it. And the general theory is that he's not worth 150 million and it's too much. But as part of their reasoning, they offer up alternatives. And the most common alternative I have seen is Aurélien Tchouaméni. And the reason is, well, he wouldn't cost 100 million. He would be cheaper than that. He is better than Declan Rice and he's cost less than Declan Rice. Well, actually now he's just cost 100 million. And I think what this does do, I think it completely validates the price tag that West Ham have applied to Declan Rice. There's not much between them in terms of ability. I don't think there's much between them in terms of potential. Similar ages as well. So they are very similar players. 100 million for the one going to Real Madrid. But you also must factor in the fact that Declan Rice is English and is homegrown. And to be fair, is one of England's best players at the moment. He is one of the best players in the world. You have to take that into consideration when evaluating Declan Rice for other Premier League clubs. So I think this transfer, in a really weird way, is really good news for West Ham United. Again, the club, not necessarily the fan base. in regards to the asking price for Declan Rice, I think it pretty much justifies it. And once again, I'm not saying any club will pay 150 million. I'm not saying that I will take 150 million. I imagine if a 120 million pound bid came in tomorrow, I'd be shocked if West Ham United rejected it. But what it does do, I think it justifies West Ham starting with their asking price of 150 million. Now, moving on to the Declan Rice performance last night against Germany, I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was one of the best players on the pitch. For spells, I thought he was the best player on the pitch. And I include the German team in this because I thought Germany were absolutely brilliant. I thought their tactics were really good. I thought Flick had Gareth Southgate's number. Southgate didn't really know what to do against the way that Germany were playing. And I thought England did well to get a point at the end of it. But during the 90 minutes, I thought Declan Rice was one of the best players on the pitch, and at times the best player on the pitch. There's a few iffy moments from Declan. I'm not saying his performance was faultless. For example, the back pass to Jordan Pickford was a little bit risky, weren't it? I mean, Pickford got there, so you could argue it was a good pass back. But there was moments where Germany would have a attack or whatever. Declan Rice was the one breaking it down. There was that example in the first half when Rice wins the ball, I don't know, 10 yards outside Germany's box maybe. Slide tackle from the back / side, wins the ball, it goes to another Germany player, there's nothing he can do about it, gets released, they're on the counter-attack. Declan Rice starts off about on the deck, about 15 yards behind the player in possession. I'm not sure who it was, it might be Kimmich, it might be Hoffman, he was over that side of the pitch, but Declan Rice got back, about a 60 yard sprint he had to do, got back, slide tackle, out for a throw. I thought he looked absolutely wonderful, Declan did. In a weird way, I think that validated his price tag as well as the transfer to Real Madrid. But I also thought Jarrod Bowen played quite well when he came on. I never saw England's game against Hungary on Saturday night, but obviously people told me that they thought Jarrod Bowen played well, put himself about, looked quite good. Certainly didn't look that he didn't belong in the England squad. Now obviously Hungary's a much different test to Germany. I know they're in the same group for a reason in the Nations League, but let's be honest with you, the ability between the two countries is pretty drastic. Last night, I thought when Grealish and Jarrod Bowen come on for the last 10 minutes of England, I thought they changed the game. It swung in England's favour. I thought Grealish looked dangerous down the left, and I thought Jarrod Bowen looked dangerous down the right. Fantastic cross as well that he put in, that got put out for a corner, but he caused them all sorts of bother. And this is Jarrod Bowen playing against one of the best countries in the world. And I know Germany were poor at the Euros, obviously got their arse handed to them on the plate by England, but things have changed a little bit for Germany since then. I think we're looking at a different Germany now, a year on. Like I said, the tactics from Flick have changed drastically with the wing backs. Some of the personnel has changed in there as well, and it's a completely different animal. And I thought Jarrod Bowen did not look like he did not belong against Germany. I thought he looked like he deserved to be on the pitch and like he was good enough to compete against one of the best countries in the world. I thought for 10 minutes I thought he was brilliant. Like I said, I thought Jack Grealish was as well. It's important I keep saying Grealish because it wasn't just Bowen that changed the game. It was very much Grealish and Jarrod Bowen. And had Bowen come on without Jack Grealish, I'm not sure he would have made such a big impression, because having Grealish on one side and Bowen on the other just pushed Germany back 5-10 yards, I think, and that gave them the space. But I thought Bowen looked fearless and I thought he looked really good. I thought Declan Rice looked like one of the best players on the pitch in an England shirt, really. Not that anyone cares what I've got to say about how Rice and Bowen play for England, but it doesn't bother me how England do. Whether they win or lose, it doesn't bother me. And I don't have an allegiance to them, clearly. But what I do have is an allegiance to Declan Rice and Jarrod Bowen. I want to see them perform well when they put on an England shirt, and last night I thought they both did just that. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Just a short, quick video for me today, because I see that it's covering the headlines, isn't it? Tchouameni going to Real Madrid for 100 million. And like I said, fantastic player going there. But I just thought that transfer, he is the one example people give us as to why Declan Rice isn't worth what West Ham say is 100 million, 150 million, whatever. People say, well, he's cheaper and better. I mean, better is debatable, but what he isn't is cheaper. That £100 million transfer, I think, is really, really good news. And in a weird way, the Darwin Núñez going to Liverpool for, well, Liverpool bidding approximately 75 million as well. It's not quite the same. It's not as comparable. But what it does do, I think it sets the tone for summer transfers this window, which is if you're going after your top player, you better bring a Real Madrid style pot of gold essentially. You might not have been saving for Kylian Mbappe, but you need a pot of gold to get the best players this summer. And it sets the bar high, I think, if the Darwin Núñez transfer and the Aurélien Tchouaméni one as well. It's good to see these getting done early because it just starts the ball roll, doesn't it? It's the domino effect of the transfer window. So anyway, there you go. I'm going to shut up now. Do drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. You probably think I'm talking rubbish. Feel free to disagree, but that's my theory anyway, my honest thoughts. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I shall catch you tomorrow.